In this video, we're going to talk about the product owner role. Now, the product owner, their primary accountability, and accountability is the right word, is to maximize the value of the product for the customer. And the way they do that is to get the team to complete the work. Now, when I think of a product owner, and I want you to think of a product owner, I want you to think Steve Jobs. This is an old picture of Steve Jobs, an old iPhone. We got a new one, but what made Steve great? It seemed like he would do anything in the world to get a better version of the product to you. And that's where I want you to think about a product owner. Undying devotion to delivering value for their customer. That's what it is. Now, a product owner is one person. Steve, one person. You, as the product owner, one person. Not a committee, not making a decision on what's in the iPhone, what should be there based on committee. No, it is a person that has a vision and cares about the customer so deeply they can taste it, okay? Now, the product owner manages the what, okay? That's the way I want you to think of Steve and the product owner. They are what people. What will be in the product for the customer, why it'll be there, but what is the biggest thing that we need in the product right now? And then we think about it, what's going to make the customer just delighted, smiling ear to ear till they can't stop it. This takes the form of product backlog management. Now, product backlog management is made up of a lot of things. And number one, it starts with developing and communicating the product goal. So you see the product owner sitting right on top of that product backlog. And right before they do anything else, they've got to nail down what is the goal that the product backlog is intended to achieve for the customer. So that's what they got to do first. Secondly, they got to create and communicate the product backlog items. Now, when we say creating the product backlog items, we're talking about all those things that you see there. And they're going to do that not once, continuously. They're continuously bringing in new ideas based on the feedback they're getting from the customer, the review sessions that they're having at the end of the sprint, all those things, dreams that they're having, inputs from stakeholders, whatever it is, they are putting everything they got on that backlog that to support the product goal. That's what they're doing. And then as they get the ideas, the product backlog items on there, those features and functionalities, they're ordering them, meaning ranking them in the right order to serve the customer, okay? That's what they're gonna do. Maximize the value to the customer by ordering those product backlog items. Now, as they get those backlog items there, they got to ensure that the backlog right there, all those items there are transparent. Everybody can see it. We're not hiding from anybody. This is what the product owner says is highest priority. And here's where the other things fall. People need to see that. It's got to be visible to everybody and they got to be able to understand it. We're trying to create transparency, engagement, buy-in. We're drawing people to the mission, right? To the product goal. That's what they're doing, okay? Now, as we go deeper into product backlog management, if we want to simplify it down, the way that I say it is, got to get the right stuff on the list, constantly pushing to get the right stuff on the list. You got to get it in the right order, right? Want to do it in the right order, and you got to get it ready to work. The stuff at the top has got to be ready to work. The team to work it, okay? Now, in later videos, we're going to go deeper in what that means and how deeply we have to work with the backlog items to refine them so that they're ready to work. But think through that. The right stuff in the right order, ready to be worked. That's that product owner's job. Okay, so the product owner will bring in whoever and whenever they need people to help them with product backlog management. Now, at the end of the day, it's their responsibility, it's their accountability, but they know sometimes they're a genius and sometimes they need help. And they're gonna bring in whoever they need to help them. They're gonna help them develop the product backlog items. You're just, bouncing off ideas of people, getting their opinions, talking to subject matter experts, talking to the stakeholders, talking to the customers, talking to the team, whoever it is, building those ideas up right there. Now, ordering it, sometimes we need a tuning of our brain to see what the customer really values the most, okay? These product owner goes in with their understanding and then they start delivering products, delivering increments out and realize it ain't hitting home. It ain't hitting the bullseye. All right, we can either keep burning money, delivering stuff they don't like, or we can tune ourselves up by bringing in the right people, subject matter experts, the customer, to help us get our brain organized and tuned so that we order the backlog correctly. Now, also in the refinement of the backlog, it means breaking the stories down, breaking the product backlog items down so that they are bite-sized, chunkable, that we can understand them, edit, estimate them, and work them, the team being the people that need to do that. So we might need some help breaking down and refining the backlog, so the product owner will bring in at any time whoever they need to do it, right? And at the end of the day, they're going to bring people in, but all backlog decisions are the product owners. It's always their decision. That is their backlog. It is their money. To say it in a coarse way, it is their neck on the line. It is their product. They are living. It's their baby to deliver to the customer. So all decisions are made by one person, the product backlog person, right? Who's that person? The product owner, okay? As we got in there. So that's what we need to do. So just to reiterate, if you want to change the backlog and you're on the team or you're a subject matter expert or something, you can't go in and move anything. You can't go in and just willy-nilly add. You must convince the product owner it's their call. If they're going to green light it, cool, but it's their call, the product owner's call. Now, to be successful, just doubling down on this, the product owner's got to be strong, right? Not authoritative, right? But strong. They have to make good decisions in the sense of like what we are going to give to the customer, all right? They got to be engaged. They can't be doing this from a corner office somewhere, never talking to the customer, never putting boots on the ground, never feeling the pain of a review. Can't be like that. They have to be super engaged. They have to be focused. A lot of times, the best products are the ones where we said no a lot to delivering things, and we really focused on what matters. So they have to be very focused, and they have to be, at the end of the day, great decision makers, because there's going to be a lot of competing interests for what goes into the backlog and what makes it into the sprints, but they're going to have to make decisions, not on political reasons, on value reasons. That's what we want. And at the end of the day, they got to be a great communicator, because we're trying to get everybody aligned to what the backlog is and how it provides value. So they got to communicate this out. They got to make it clear. Think of Steve Jobs, pretty darn good communicator, right? So that's what we're talking about. Now, the product owner must constantly engage with a lot of different people. Yes, they're managing the backlog, right? We talked about that, but they got to engage with the customer, right? How's it going? What are you liking? What are you thinking? What's the trends, etc.? All those things. They're talking to the stakeholders in the organization. What are they seeing? What do they want? How do they think it's going? All those things. They're talking to the development teams, obviously, right? They're in, lockstep, right? Shoulder to shoulder. Those are their boys, right? The product owner wants something, the developers deliver things for them. So boom, got to be in connection there. And then the Scrum Master is helping them keep abreast of what's happening in the organization, what's happening in the team. They're helping improve the product owner's skills. That's what they're trying to do. And they're also improving the team skills. So got to be aware and engage with the Scrum Master. Product owner is a fantastic job. It ain't an easy job, but it's a fantastic job, okay? Now, the product owner never stops. Think about Steve Jobs, never stops, right? And so trying to find ways to improve value to the customer is their undying devotion. That's what they're trying to do, okay? So when you think of a product owner, and I hope I've redefined this in your mind, I want you to think of Uncle Steve right there, right? He wasn't a perfect person, but the way we think about him is that he nailed down that backlog and delivered something magical to us, right? Because he never made the compromises that would hurt us. So he tried his hardest to get the right things in the right order and get them delivered the right way. That's what we're talking about. So when you have questions on PMP land and it's product owner focused, you might want to just click your brain and go, WWSD. What would Steve do? So that's my product owner little breakdown for you. Let's keep rolling on. We're going to go into the developer role.